5 reasons why you don't like to be around people. Have you ever walked into a crowded room, felt the buzz of 100 conversations dancing through the air, and wished for nothing more than to turn on your heel and walk away? It's more than just discomfort, it's a deep ache, an unsettling feeling of being out of place, even among people you know well. Aren't humans meant to be social beings? We're told that connection is vital, that human interaction is the key to happiness. So why does being around others sometimes feel like it's slowly draining your energy? Maybe it's the constant pressure to perform, smile, laugh, and keep the conversation going, even when you feel completely drained. Or maybe it's the inevitable shallowness of small talk, while your mind craves something deeper. There's a pressure to conform, to fit neatly into a world that seems too chaotic, too loud, too much. And then there's the judgment. Oh, the judgment. The curious stares when you slip away early from a gathering. The quiet questions about whether you're alright, as if enjoying your own company is a warning sign. They ask, why don't you like being around others, as if there's a simple answer, but you know better. It's not about disliking people. It's about the disconnect between your needs and the demands of modern social life. The truth is, there are many reasons behind how you feel. Each one reflects your unique personality, experiences, and desires. These reasons aren't flaws, they're just parts of who you are. Let's dive into them, not to justify or explain away your feelings, but to honor them and perhaps to understand them a little better. 1. You are an introvert. There's a quiet strength in solitude, isn't there? The peace, the calm, the way your mind feels free to stretch and wander. For you, solitude isn't loneliness, it's freedom. It's not about avoiding others, it's about reconnecting with yourself. As an introvert, your very nature seeks depth over breadth. You're not after the fleeting highs of shallow connections, you long for the deep sense of understanding that comes from a meaningful conversation. But how often do those truly happen? Most social interactions are designed to stay on the surface, jumping from topic to topic without ever diving into anything truly meaningful. And let's not forget the toll it takes on you. Each interaction feels like a transaction where you're giving away pieces of your energy. In exchange for what, exactly? Small talk? Polite smiles? It's not that you don't value connection. You do. But when the balance doesn't quite add up, you begin to wonder if it's all worth it. Of course, the world isn't made for introverts. There's an unspoken pressure to be outgoing, social, the life of the party. When you're not that way, people begin to question if something's wrong. They don't see the depth of the world you live in, the thoughts and dreams that swirl inside you like galaxies. So you retreat, not out of fear or disdain, but to protect the essence of who you are. Solitude isn't a getaway from the world, it's a return to your true self. And if that makes you seem antisocial to others, so be it. You know what's true. 2. Trust issues. Trust is a delicate currency in relationships, and for some, it's been given away too easily, only to be met with betrayal. If you've been hurt before by a friend who betrayed you, a partner who broke your trust, or even a relative who disappointed you, you understand how difficult it is to rebuild. Trust issues aren't about paranoia, they're about survival. Imagine opening up to someone, only for your words to be twisted and used against you. It's not just painful, it's disorienting. Suddenly, the rules of connection seem arbitrary, and the ground beneath you feels unsteady. Trust issues don't just make you cautious of others, they make you doubt yourself, questioning your ability to judge character and tell friends from foes. And so, you retreat, not because you don't want connection, but because you fear what it might cost you. Every interaction feels like a gamble, with the stakes too high to feel at ease. the vulnerability needed to trust someone again feels like reopening a wound that's not fully healed. It's not just a fear of being hurt, but a fear of being hurt all over again. Trust issues don't just show up as caution. They also heighten your sensitivity to red flags. You become tuned into subtle signals, a glance that lingers too long, a tone that doesn't match the words. While others might ignore these signals, you take note, adding them to a mental ledger that decides how much of yourself you're willing to reveal. It's not that you've completely given up on people. Deep down, you still crave connection, the warmth of true understanding. But that longing is tempered by the lessons you've learned, the hard, painful lessons that have taught you not everyone deserves access to your heart. Rebuilding trust is possible, but it's a slow, careful process. It begins with small steps, a kind word here, a shared laugh there. It's about finding those rare people who consistently prove they're worth the risk. Until then, it's okay to keep your distance. It's okay to protect yourself. Trust isn't given freely, it's earned, and you have every right to expect it to be earned. Well. 3. Spending time with the wrong people. Not all company is good company, and this may be the most overlooked reason why you avoid socializing. It's not that you don't want to be around people, you just don't want to be around those people, the ones who drain you, frustrate you, or leave you feeling worse than before you met them. The overtalkers, the complainers, the energy vampires who drain the life out of a room. Being around such people feels less like socializing and more like emotional labor. Imagine this. You're sitting across from someone who dominates the conversation, talking nonstop about themselves with no break to ask how you're doing. Or worse, someone who hides their insults behind compliments, leaving you questioning their intentions and your own sanity. Who could blame you for avoiding such interactions? Then there are the energy vampires, the ones who drain you with their constant negativity, complaints, or drama. Spending time with them feels less like socializing and more like emotional labor. After enough of these interactions, you start to wonder, is it even worth it? It's not just the obviously toxic people you avoid, it's also those who simply don't understand you. Maybe it's the friend who insists on going to noisy bars when you'd rather have a quiet coffee, or the colleague who pressures you to attend office parties when you'd rather just go home and read. It's not that you don't appreciate their intentions. You just wish they'd respect your preferences. Over time, these experiences take a toll. You start associating socializing with discomfort, awkwardness, or outright frustration. It's not that you don't like people, it's that you've had one too many encounters with the wrong ones. And so you choose solitude, not as a rejection of others, but as an embrace of your own well-being. It's not about avoiding people, it's about avoiding unnecessary pain. 4. Low self-esteem. Sometimes, the reluctance to be around people isn't about them, it's about you. It's that nagging voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, not interesting enough, not worthy of their time. Of course, this isn't something you share with the world. Outwardly, you might seem fine, maybe even confident, but beneath the surface there's a storm of self-doubt, convincing you that every interaction is a potential minefield of judgment and rejection. You replay past conversations, dissecting every word, every expression, every perceived mistake. Did they think you were boring? Did they notice that awkward laugh? Did you say something stupid? These thoughts spiral, and soon socializing feels like stepping onto a stage, unprepared and exposed. Worse still, this self-doubt becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you withdraw, the more disconnected you feel. And the more disconnected you feel, the harder it becomes to re-engage. It's a vicious cycle, one that keeps you locked in a cage of your own making. But here's the thing, this isn't who you are. It's just a narrative your mind has created, a story you've told yourself for so long that it feels like the truth. Breaking free from it begins with realizing that the world is much less judgmental than your inner critic makes you think. 5. Social anxiety. Have you ever felt your chest tighten and your palms sweat just at the thought of entering a room full of people? Social anxiety isn't just extreme shyness, it's a full-blown mental battlefield where every interaction feels like a looming disaster. Picture this. You're invited to a gathering. You know the people there are friendly and the environment is casual. Still, your mind starts its relentless chatter. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I don't say anything at all? Will they notice my awkwardness? By the time you arrive, you're already drained from battling the scenarios your mind has created. Social anxiety can turn even the simplest interactions into a daunting task, like climbing Mount Everest without a guide. Every smile feels forced, every silence deafening. You're hyper-aware of your body language, your tone, even the angle at which you hold your drink. And when the night ends, there's no relief, just a post-mortem analysis of every little thing you could have done differently. It's not that you don't want to connect with people. You want to connect, to be part of the conversation, to feel like you belong. Deep down, you might even crave it. But the fear of being judged, misunderstood, or simply not measuring up makes the whole experience too overwhelming. So you retreat, not because you prefer it, but out of self-preservation. For many, social anxiety originates from past experiences, moments of embarrassment, rejection, or ridicule that left a lasting mark. These memories become triggers, surfacing as intrusive thoughts and heightened sensitivity. While others might brush off a small mistake, you replay it repeatedly, convinced it defines you. Over time, this avoidance creates a paradox. The less you engage, the more your social skills deteriorate, and the more intimidating the idea of interaction becomes. It's a cruel cycle, leaving you feeling isolated and misunderstood. But beneath the anxiety, there's a truth. The world isn't as harsh a judge as you think, and with patience and self-compassion, the chains of social anxiety can loosen, making space for meaningful connections. Overcoming social anxiety isn't easy, but it's possible. It begins with small steps, like confronting your fears, practicing self-compassion, and seeking support from those who understand. It's about realizing you're more resilient than you think, that you can face the discomfort and emerge stronger on the other side. Until then, it's okay to take things slow and prioritize your mental health over societal expectations. Because, at the end of the day, your well-being matters more than anyone else's opinion. The complex truth behind solitude. At the core of these reasons lies one undeniable truth. Your desire to avoid people isn't just a simple reaction. It's a mosaic of experiences, emotions, and perceptions. Whether it's the craving for depth, the weight of intelligence, the wounds inflicted by the wrong people, or the inner battles of self-esteem and anxiety, each reason tells a story. Your story. But solitude isn't inherently bad. It's a place where creativity thrives, where introspection occurs, and where you reconnect with the core of who you are. The key is balance, finding the courage to step into the world without losing yourself in it. So, the next time someone questions your preference for solitude, remember, it's not about avoiding people, it's about honoring yourself. In a world that constantly demands your attention, that is a quiet act of rebellion worth celebrating. If you'd like, I can expand further or refine specific sections to dive deeper into each point. Just let me know.